first automobile was the Ford Model T. And what most people probably don't know is they did not have bumpers. Therefore, it would be very hard to put a bumper sticker on something that doesn't have a bumper and doesn't have a lot of designed areas that would allow for the accommodation. However, that's okay because they came up with the bumper on the next model in 1927. And it's not an actual bumper, so to speak, it was more or less just cardboard. So the first bumper sticker was more like a flag to stick in the corrugated pieces or to tape on because they had not quite come up with the idea of the traditional bumper sticker. And as an end result, this obviously caught on very quickly, not as a statement or anything that we're more familiar with it as today for jokes or otherwise, but strictly for advertising. So you go to JCPenney's or your local grocery store, or you're traveling and they give it to you as a thanks for being a tourist gift, and that was free advertising that got their name out without having to pay for radio space, huge billboards, things of the like. Well, in the 60s, political people such as Dwight Eisenhower started to recognize the further use of a bumper sticker, and that's how they started to campaign for themselves and give their supporters a way to say, I support this or I support that, whatever group or party they're affiliated with or whatever their view is. And so we're all familiar as an end result because of that being one of the first bumper stickers in that new aspect with the I like Mike or be like Ike, I think it might have been. Wasn't around, but it was there. But it also allowed for some of the other things that were going on then, for things like the peace sign and the other aspects for what people wanted to voice in the world as their views, or just trying to promote equality on any level. Well, that of course is how we came to be very familiar with Bring Our Boys Home. That was from the same era. And from there it's just gradually progressed and become a way of communication and self-expression. We now today use it for a multitude of things for bumper stickers. We use them for advertising, we use them for jokes, we use them for our political views or who we're voting for, or who knows, whatever else goes along with that. And we use it to promote a lot of other different values, things, tell people, you know, that, hey, I got a kid on board, please drive more careful. We use it for the please don't talk and drive because that's distracted driving, which is just as bad as drunk driving, and they don't want to get hurt, or they don't want their kids getting hurt. They don't want you hurt, even if you're the person who's distracted. A lot of things come along and can be portrayed through the voice we have on our bumpers. And the bumper sticker I liked the most out of the slogans that we had to choose from this week was the Coexist. Because a Polish graphic designer named Piotr Moldożniec, yes, doozy of a name, and yes, I had to look that up to get a sounded out pronunciation and practice for a while on that. He designed the first Coexist image. He actually created it to participate in an art contest that was held by the museum on the theme for dialogue, understanding, and coexistence to promote religious tolerance. And it has been changed tremendously in colors and different variations and put on different products now for who knows how many differences and changes. And the meaning behind it has grown from not just religious tolerance, but it's now also just to promote equality and tolerance in general. And that is pretty awesome in my opinion, just because I think humans are humans and everybody deserves to be treated like a human. So tolerance to me seems like a pretty logical way to go. And this, though, was all part of a Coexist campaign, which is still an ongoing campaign. And what a lot of people don't know is that even though you purchase those bumper stickers and you purchase all this merchandise sometimes, or don't, who knows, whatever your preference is, of the Coexist, that none of the proceeds, for a lot of people who think they're purchasing this to support this campaign, the Coexist campaign fund, isn't. In fact, if you don't go directly to the Coexist campaign site, you're not supporting anything other than somebody who's just living off of a borrowed idea. That's it. And that was pretty interesting to know, because you would think that they would have some kind of legal rights to that specifically, but I couldn't find anything anywhere where they do. But the creativity behind the Coexist and the idea is a great idea, and I like the creativity that they took, where he took all of these different symbols and aspects behind all of these different religions that have a very different belief system in a lot of ways, or different cultural value or aspect, and put them all together so that even if we can't find a way to really genuinely live peacefully together side by side in the real world, at least there's that little piece of bumper la la land that lets us live a dream for a couple of minutes, to take a small break that's maybe needed in our days to enjoy something that had a really cool meaning from somebody who had a brilliant idea and won a contest. And that's the history of bumper stickers and the coolness behind the Coexist.